Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Alan Duarte coming at you live from the Charles F. Dodge City Center here in Pembroke Pines, Florida, for the Battle of the Beaches here in the Florida Grid League. Today, the South Beach Palms take on the Palm Beach Breakers in Pikes Peak. We are set and ready to go. The teams are set. Breakers in that dark blue. Palms are going to be in that baby blue with a shade of pink as they are off in partner forward. Michael Shern starting off with Zach Trolley for the Breakers. Shern handing it off over to Maxwell for the Palms. Left side of your screen. Breakers on the right side of your screen with Therian. Here's Marcus Washington. He switched it up early with Shern. Shern opened it up. Washington in right now for the Palms. Trolley staying in for the Breakers. Partner forward. 9 in the first quadrant. 7 in that second quadrant. Then 5. Then 3. Partner forward. You got a partner on the floor. Partner must stay within the hash marks on the outer parts of the grid quadrants while the other partner works. If you're not in there, repetitions of the elements do not count. As Heather Hudson finishes it up, she gets back into her hash mark. Marcus Washington continues right next to him. Zach Trolley going rep for rep. We've got deadlifts and we've got weighted pistols. As we move down the grid floor, as I said earlier, the reps decrease, but the weight increases. If we're going to make it easier on the rep side of things, we got to make it harder on the volume, on the weight, the intensity side of things. And let me tell you, intensity is what happens when you combine a dumbbell and a pistol. As Heather Hudson knocks it out, carrying that 30-pound dumbbell for the ladies. Gentlemen finish up with 40. Washington and Hudson will switch it out for Hansen and Kay Johnson. Opening up Johnson with the 315-pound deadlift. All 3 blue plates on each side. Here comes Hansen, 205 on the barbell for her as Alex Oliveras opens up for the Palm Beach Breakers on the right side of your screen. We've seen Kay Johnson and Bryleigh Hansen form this level of camaraderie and teamwork when they are out on the floor. In these type of partner workouts, if Johnson is working, there's a very good chance Hansen is right there next to him. As Oliveira hands it off to Mostar. Now she knocks out her weighted pistols. Johnson begins and finishes 365 pounds. Hansen on the barbell right now. 245 pounds for her. She's done. Here comes Kay Johnson. 70-pound dumbbell. Making that weighted pistol look easy. Oliveras onto the dumbbell. Palm Beach Breakers, can they catch it up or can Bryleigh Hansen bring home the first race win of the match? Hansen, final rep. She places down that dumbbell and the Palms cross the finish line. Nothing new for the combination of Johnson and Hansen as Mostar crosses the finish line. 1 race down, Palms lead 2-1. After 1 race opening up, we got the mirror. 6 players on the floor, 3 men, 3 ladies, 1 male, 1 lady working at a time, mirroring each other, hence the name. You get what I did there. 40 hand cleans, 10 in each quadrant. Can't move on to the next quadrant until you finish the previous quadrant's work. That barbell touches the ground. The entire team must go back to the start line, then they can come back onto the floor and continue their work. You drop the barbell, you can pretty much count yourself out of this mirror race. As Walsh and Garcia go side by side on those hand cleans. Palms are done. Henry finishes up. He's going to hand it off to Washington, and Rodriguez will hand it off to Plasencia right on your screen right now. 215 pounds for these men, 140 pounds for the ladies. As Oliveras and Kuhlman work for the Breakers. And the Palms making their way over to quadrant 4. I said at the beginning, I say it again. Hansen, Johnson, side by side, looking to close out another race for the Palms. But not so fast as Kevin Jennings and Mostar look to finish it up. Kay Johnson, final rep. And the Palms take the first 2 races of this Pikes Peak match. Early on, the Palms lead 4-2 as we go into the first ringer point race of the match. Breakers choice. Kuhlman Rodriguez, handstand walk for 2 quadrants into 1 clean and jerk at 205 pounds. Rodriguez threw it. She's first to the barbell. Here comes Kuhlman. Rodriguez has set herself up. Kuhlman gets it up and over. She steps over and she'll sprint to the finish line. Kuhlman, by surprise, many people would have counted her out, but she takes down Rodriguez and takes the first ringer point race of this match. What a showing there, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, 18 seconds for each of those ladies. Kuhlman takes it by a split second. As we done with 3 races, going into race number 4, we've got the ladder. Palms lead 5, breakers 4, and the ladder is underway. Sam Secord on the left side of your screen, Vida Vetterkin on the right side of your screen, sporting that breakers hat. On today's ladder, we're gonna see the strength come out of each and every single one of these players as Sam Secord and Vida Vetterkin look to clear the entire ladder, and both ladies do. That final barbell for those ladies was 210 pounds. So the way the ladder works, each quadrant is worth its respective amount of points. So quadrant number 1 is worth 1 point, quadrant number 4 worth 4 points. If you can clear the ladder as Vetterkin and Secord just did, it's a total of 10 points for your team. At the end of this all, team with the most points wins the race. If a team wins by more than 10 points, other team will have 0. As you know, on the grid floor, a race win is worth 2 points. As long as you finish the race, you'll get 1 point. While on the ladder, you got to finish within 10 points to secure that 1 point. As Placencia clears quad 4. Here comes Therian onto that 4th and final barbell. Brett Henry on the floor for the Palms, left side of your screen. 210 for Therian. Therian stands it up. Brett Henry looking to clear the floor right now onto quadrant number 4. Brett Henry clears it. 325. Alex Oliveras now on your screen. Number 20 for the breakers. Easy money. 300 pounds. Alex Oliveras. 325 pounds. You see Winter Rodriguez in the back on your screen. She's going over quad 4. Oliveras stands it up. Rodriguez with an easy power clean at 210 pounds. Marcus Washington now on the floor for the Palms. He's had a great showing thus far today. Kuhlman took down Rodriguez, looking to continue showing what she's got for the breakers. Onto quadrant number 4. 210 for Kuhlman. 325 for Washington. And we are tallying up the points here. Both players right there skipped that first quadrant. Garcia on the right side of your screen. Maxwell on the left side of your screen. Garcia, one of the stronger players you'll find on this grid floor today, as he clears 325 with ease. Got Mostar on the right side of your screen. Cade, the closer Johnson, on the left side. He ain't gonna close out this race, but let me tell you what. Let me preview how this match will probably end. Not saying it's gonna end with a Palm sprint relay win, but it'll probably end with Cade Johnson ending the sprint relay for the Palms. Whether they're first or second, you can count on him to close it out. Angel Rodriguez, right side for the breakers, as Heather Hudson steps onto the floor. She'll clear quadrant number 2, onto quadrant number 3. Nice and easy, smooth as butter for Hudson. Hudson onto quadrant number 4, 210. Heather Hudson stands it up. Kayleigh Walsh on the floor for the breakers. She's on the quad 3. Will she do quad 4? She's going to skip it, get some more extra time for the rest of her team. Michael Sherd, quadrant number 2, successful lift at 275. Zach Trolley, we'll be seeing a lot of him today Trolley goes through 2. Time is up. Trolley able to sneak in that final lift. So after that ladder, with a total of 89 points, the Palms will take the race win. They did throw the bonus flag before that race, so they're gonna get an extra point for a total of 3. And the Breakers finished up with 73 points. So because they did not come within 10 points, the Breakers will take 0. So as we go into our next race, it's the Palms' turn for the ringer. Palms lead 8-4. As we get going into the ringer, Palms now get to choose. We're going 6 double touches, followed by 12 hand cleans at 125 pounds. We've got Hansen on the left side of your screen. For the Palms, Lizzie Morgs on the right side of your screen for the Breakers in that navy blue. Double touch consists of a chest to bar and a toe to bar, followed by hand cleans. 12 total. 125 pounds. Bryleigh Hansen is moving swiftly, easily through these hand cleans. Can Morgs catch her, or will Hansen take the win as she crosses the finish line? Grabbing another 2 points for the Palms. Morgs will cross the finish line after 5 races. Palms lead 10-5. As we're going into the second half of today's match for Jack and Jill. 1 male, 1 female on the floor at a time. Only one could be working at a time. And you're probably asking yourself, Alan, what are you saying? Only one can be working at a time. It looks like they're both working at the same exact time. Well, things get a little spicy, a little different here on the grid floor. This is called that waterfall effect, something unique to the grid league itself and to grid as a sport. These teams working together. Yes, they're working at the same time, but they're only completing 1 rep at a time. So as one touches, the other is going back and then coming up right after to get 2 reps in the same amount of time as one. Teamwork, practice, camaraderie, everything at its finest here on the grid floor. After 50 toes to bar, we're moving on to 30 muscle-ups. Vetterkin and the Breakers were first to the rings. As it looks like there was a little bit of a mix-up for the Palms. Cody Schaefer had to finish up a few extra toes to bar, but he's back onto the rings and chipping away at that big number. 30 total ring muscle-ups. How big of a set can that first group do? Vetterkin hands it off to Rodriguez as Schaefer stays on the rings with Hansen waiting to relieve him. Kayleigh Walsh on that box as she's waiting for Rodriguez to knock out as much as he can without blowing himself up and then hand it off to her. Schaefer will hand it off to Hansen. What we're doing is we're waiting for the hand to go up of that referee. The hands referee going up is going to allow the fans here with me today and you at home to know how many reps they have left once they reach 5 and below. As Hansen knocking out that butterfly technique on her ring muscle-ups. Rodriguez still chipping away, waiting for the first hand to go up. Hand is up for Hansen and the Palms. Hand is up for Walsh and the Breakers. Walsh is done. Here comes Cody Schaefer. Up next, we got a total of 5 backup risers. It's Hudson and Trolley waiting in the ranks. Who's going to be first onto it? Here comes Trolley. Final rep for Schaefer. Here comes Hudson. Trolley 2 reps through. Trolley's got 2 to go. Alice's final 1. I miscounted. Trolley's done. And the Breakers hold themselves in this match with a race win here at Jack and Jill. What was a 5-point lead has now diminished to a 4-point lead. And the Breakers are back in this with 3 races to go. And these ladies are off with the first of 3 final races. We've got the female triad. The females will take it on, followed by the males. The triad, it's simple. Think of it as stations. There's going to be 3 stations of each element. Each station has a specific amount of repetitions. Right now it's 7 dumbbell burpee clusters. Each station must have those completed number of repetitions for the entire team to move on. You can't do 14 in one, none in the other, 7 in one. That's not how it works. Here, we got the box jump overs. You got 20 total, 20 at each box. Doesn't matter who does it where, but each box needs 20 reps. Rodriguez, Hudson, Hansen. Hansen and Hudson will move over to the pistol stick jump overs as Sam Secord joins them in quad 3. Therian, Mostar. Vetterkin trying to finish up. She's going to go ahead and switch it out as Mostar and Therian go to work. Speaking of going to work, Secord, Hudson, Hansen on to the next element. We got a total of 4 rope climbs. As Walsh joins the pistol party in quad 3 for the breakers, Mostar will switch it out. Looks like Kuhlman will come to the floor. 12 feet of rope climbs, 4 on each rope for these ladies. Looks like Hudson is done with her rope. She's going to switch it out. Rodriguez. It's going to be Rodriguez and Hansen, as well as Milian. Looks like Kuhlman had a mishap. Maybe she got one extra one to do. She's going to finish it up. Walsh is finishing it up. Hansen's going to switch it up. Secord back onto the floor as Rodriguez and Milian knock out these reps. Vetterkin finishing up that final rope climb on that middle rope. Same as Therian on that first rope. Rodriguez is done as Milian will finish up 2 final reps for Milian and Secord. Milian is done. Secord is done. And the Lady Palms take the female triad. The breaker ladies still on the floor, still doing work as they look to finish up their 15 cleans, get past that finish line, and allow the males to take their try at the triad. Kuhlman's done. Vetterkin's done. Mostar's done. Their race is done. They'll take that extra point as we get into the male triads. Palms extend their lead, 13-8. Now, same exact race, a little bit heavier weights. I'll update you on each element that gets a little bit heavier as we get started here. The men are going to work. Same exercise, same element. Burpee clusters with the dumbbell. Total of 7, 50 pounds on the dumbbell for these gentlemen. Trolley moving fast through these as well as his counterparts on that navy blue. In the baby blue, Washington, Henry, and Johnson. You got Schaefer and Schern waiting in the ranks. Schaefer first to the box jump. All 3 breaker men were first to the box jump overs on their side. Schaefer was first for the Palms. Took a little bit for the rest of the guys to join them, but they are back to work. As Henry went from the first element to the second one, Schern and Schaefer new onto the grid floor, so they're fresh. Washington finishing up those box jump overs for Henry. Schaefer will move over to pistol stick jump overs. Looks like the breakers are over there as well. Looks like all 3 gentlemen on each side starting around the same exact time. A little bit of miscommunication on the side of the breakers. It's Oliveras and Trolley, I believe. Breakers are done, so are the Palms. Schern and Schaefer did the box jump overs. They did the pistol stick jump overs, and they're going to stay on for the rope climbs. Again, total of 4, 15 feet for the men. As you got Oliveras, Restrepo, and Trolley. So it was Restrepo earlier on the pistol stick jump overs. He stayed on the floor, and Trolley came in to finish up those rope climbs. Schaefer has one more. Schern has one more. Johnson is done. So all 3 men for the Palms, they are done. Moving on to that final element in the 4th quadrant. Total of 15 cleans, 185 pounds for the men. And again, it's a common theme to find Kayleigh Johnson in quad 4. Two men for the breakers, waiting for that final rope climb. That is complete, and the men are out to work for that 185 clean. One hand is up, 2 hands are up on the side of the palms. Third and final hand is up for the palms for Kayleigh Johnson, Marcus Washington, and Brett Henry. Washington's done. Final rep for Johnson. Henry's done. And the 3 men will cross the finish line. They're going to put this match out of reach with a minute remaining. Hands are up for the breakers. Garcia's done. Oliveira's looking to finish it up. Final rep for Oliveira. He's got 1 more to go. Alex Oliveira, with plenty of time on the clock, will get that 1 point, and there's no quit in these Palm Beach breakers, let me tell you. Absolutely no quit, and I don't expect anything to change as we get into the sprint relay. With a total score right now of 16-9, we got everything on the line right now. 3 points to the victor here, and for the Palm Beach breakers right now, it's about just coming out here and showing you have no quit. Sprint relay coming up. Both teams are ready. Here we go. Hudson opening it up for the South Beach Palms. Zach Trolley started the match, and we'll start the final race of the match for the breakers on the sprint relay. If you've seen a grid match before, you know already how it works. If you haven't, let me explain. So on the sprint relay, the player that finishes the final repetition of an element must 4-point touch behind the start line. Fingertips, toes, behind the start line, sprint to the finish line. When you cross that finish line, you are finished. Yes, you are done for the rest of the race. You cannot go in again. So strategy coming into play, as you saw. Hudson and Trolley started, but they aren't going to finish. Excuse me, Hudson did finish, but Washington did most of the work, but he's going to stay on the floor for later on in this race. Thurian moving on to the toaster bar right now. Opened up with 20 decked of pistols, now 16 toaster bar. Bryleigh Hansen now onto that Valor Fitness pull-up rig. Again, earlier you saw Trolley opening up for the breakers. He did a few reps, then switched it out, so he's still in. You saw Hudson finish for the Palms, so Hudson is now gone for the rest of this race. Gabby Mostar onto quadrant number 2, picking up those 40-pound dumbbells for a total of 12 dumbbell thrusters. Jess Placencia now onto those 40-pound dumbbells for the Palms. Mostar is done. 4-point touch, so sprint to the finish line. She's done for the rest of this race. Looks like Placencia will do the same. She'll finish it up. Her final few reps. Placencia is done. Now onto the rings for Zach Trolley. This is why you kept him in this race. 8 ring muscle-ups for the bodyweight specialist. Speaking of bodyweight specialist, my man Cody Schaefer in that baby blue, using that butterfly on those ring muscle-ups. Did Cody Schaefer just catch Zach Trolley? There seems to be some miscommunication, some struggle there for Trolley, and Cody Schaefer has brought the Palms back into this race. Restrepo onto the rings for the breakers, looking to finish up this side as Brett Henry gets to work on the left side of your screen, walking down those hash marks. 53-pound kettlebells, 1 in each hand, overhead. Make it a little bit tougher. You're going to lunge all the way down the grid floor across all 4 quadrants. Alex Oliveira will do the same for the breakers on the right side of your screen. It's not just strength. The amount of mobility you need to have to hold those kettlebells overhead while you lunge across this floor. is insane. And both of these men are showing off. Henry is done. Alex Oliveira, 1 quadrant to go. Few more hash marks. As Winter Nicolette Rodriguez on to quad number 3 for a total of 10 burpee box jump overs. Moving at the speed of light. Hand is up. Final 4 reps for her. Final 2 reps. Vida Vetterkin in the blue with rocking that breaker's hat. She's got her hand up as Rodriguez hits the start line, sprints to the finish. We've got 2 elements to go. First, full rope climbs. Marcus Washington now up for the palms. Vetterkin is done. She'll sprint down to the finish line. 2 reps down for Washington as the breakers back out on the floor. Can they catch up and finish this in style? Or can the Palms put an exclamation point on Pikes Peak and take another race win to close out their match win? Washington is done. And as I told you earlier in this race, in this match, Cade the Closer Johnson, if he wants to adopt the nickname, I'll take full credit, but he can have it. Final rep for Cade Johnson, 275-pound clean and jerk. Cade Johnson will close it out for the Palms as they're going to take the race win and the match win with a total of 19 points on the day. What a showing for the Palms. Final 10 seconds for the Palm Beach Breakers to close out their match day as Anthony Garcia will cross the finish line. They'll get their 1 point. What a strong showing for the Breakers, but an even stronger one for the Palms as they take the race win by a total of 19-10. For the Florida Grid League, I'm Alan Duarte signing off. We'll see you next time.